Running. How important is it in Hades 2? Now, you could just assume that running is important because, you've played the game, or you could dive into those settings, disable the sprint button, and do a run without sprinting, and then go back into those settings, delete all the other moves, and do a run where you only sprint. And that's what I did today, so, watch it. To support the channel, join the Patreon. It's the best place to do it. That's where we get to keep most of the money, and that will let us eventually hire a second editor so that we can get more videos out on more of the channels more frequently. Those other channels are Tulok the Cardbarian, if you like Magic the Gathering, and Tulok the Barbarian, if you like Dungeons and Dragons. We're still trying to make videos there. It just takes a little bit. Follow us on Tulok Time and Twitch if you want to watch us stream live. Now let's get started with a run that doesn't dash.
You're not part of the turbo team! Don't run! You don't run with us!
So, starting this run, I would like to note that I have disabled the X button. The X button does not sprint. R3 sprints, but that's just to go between rooms and stuff. I will not be sprinting through this run. Great job explaining that, stream Phil. Yeah, starting it off, we're looking for 3 gods: Apollo, Hestia, and Aphrodite. Everyone else ranges from middling to effectively useless. We're also using the Unga Bunga special axe that's actually a giant club, like Club Penguin or Club Seal. That's Saturn version of Club Penguin. When you get a series of hits off, you go into Guts mode and start smashing faster, while also healing 1 HP per hit. Since we can't sprint, we're effectively going to try and become Wolverine and just take the damage, then heal it off. Slight problem, 1 HP. Not very much, and it doesn't work out to be more damage than we have to take since we can't get any iframes from dashing, or the necessary speed to outrun any attacks. Which brings us back to our gods: Apollo, Hestia, and Aphrodite. Apollo gives us an elemental boon called self-healing, which will heal us 30% of the damage after we take a hit. That's a little bit better than the 1 HP outside of Guts mode. Hestia works with Apollo to give us a duo boon to heal 10 HP every time we dodge a hit. Dodge is different than sprinting since that's an automatic thing. I'm not hitting a button. If I just so happen to find a few boons that give us an innate dodge chance, then it's not my fault if we dodge attacks. And it's also not a dodgeless challenge, it's a sprintless challenge. Read the rules that I never posted in the video, because, I don't know, who wants to hear about rules? Which bounces us back to Apollo, since Daze effects can also give us a chance to dodge. You actually need a method of inflicting Daze to get the duo boon with Hestia. So back over to Hestia, ideally we'll get her cast as a method to inflict Scorch, since Scorch on the axe isn't all that great. It doesn't apply very fast, so perfect setup would be Apollo's attack with the secondary boon to inflict Daze. We need Scorch for Hot Pot, since that gives you an innate chance to dodge that doubles if your enemy is on fire. Obviously, it's easier to dodge someone who's on fire since you can always see where they are. Now, where does Aphrodite come in? A lot of people. She is the goddess of love. But where does she come into the puzzle of this run? Well, she gives weak as a status effect, which is pretty killer. So ideally we get her mana recovery because we don't actually need to recover mana all that much, and applying weak to everyone when they do hit us makes them hit us less hard. She also gives us more HP, which is critical for having HP, and she gives us a boon that will make us do more damage when we're at close to full HP, which, if we get this run running correctly, should be where we're at. On a successful run, we'll actually stay in the top bit of our HP, partially because of the most important thing from Aphrodite, Wispy Wiles. It's 2% dodge chance for every wind boon you have. We're stacking every chance to dodge we possibly can, hoping we miss as much damage as possible and can heal off any damage we do take. For our familiar, we're going with Golly over Phrynos. Not that I don't love the frog, but Golly gives us a dodge chance, which actually ends up being more helpful once we get the duo boon from Hestia and Apollo. It's also worth noting that we are running Death Defies instead of Strength. I enjoy Strength, however, I tested this a few times before plugging it into the stream, and Strength just doesn't have enough health. Sorry, Strength enjoyers. Now, I had time to talk about all of this while the first run played out because we were just fucked. We were fucked from the start. None of the gods we needed were natively in the pool. Some backup options we tried to grab also didn't work out with rerolls, leaving us with absolutely nothing that we wanted, and 2 out of our 10 rerolls left as we beat Polyphemus. Let's talk about Polyphemus. Pop quiz: which of the Polyphemus attacks do you need iframes to sprint through if you want to punish him with an attack? Did you say all of his attacks? Then you're right. Best case scenario is just walking around his stomp waves. Here we kind of can, but it's very not safe because we can very much just get waterfalled by those, yeah. The shockwaves all move slow enough that if you don't dodge through them, you get hit by the hurt box multiple times. We do have the Arcana for a few free hits from each Guardian in a fight, which will help us get through without using a Death Defy, which is great because Polyphemus isn't even close to being the worst boss of this challenge. On the boats, we finally get self-healing from Apollo, since he wasn't in our boon pool until we added him with the charm. Yikes, but yeah, self-healing. Pretty good. There's some other boons that can help but aren't as critical. Aphrodite's boon that rounds up your health after you leave a chamber, you know, that's solid. As well as any boosts to her weak, those would be good. We're trying to farm all together from Hera, it doesn't really work, and now we get to fight Eris. Oh, yep, that's the bad part. That's the scary one. To be fair, I'm kind of throwing in this fight because I know we're not going to do well, so I don't really care if we lose and kind of just want to start the next run. I would honestly say Eris isn't as bad as Polyphemus, at least in terms of finding a safe window to hurt her. However, when you do goof on the not dodge, the punishment is insane. It's horrible. But without Aphrodite in the boon pool, I knew we were going to lose, so I just threw to get us to the next run.
Sure, Jan.
Turns out going fast might be kind of important. So why are you wasting so much time making food when you could go fast with today's sponsor, Factor? That's right, gamers. This video is brought to you by Factor. Factor is the best meal delivery service because they're sending you meals fresh. They're never frozen, and they're ready to eat in 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes. Do you have 2 minutes in your day to make better tasting food? Honestly, if you live in an apartment building like me, it probably takes you 2 minutes to get down to the first floor and bring the carryout back up. And what do you get? Some soggy stuff that's been steaming in a bag, fries that are rubbery, unhealthy stuff, things you don't really need to be eating. With Factor, you're getting healthier foods that are tastier and fit your dietary goals. I'm talking about Protein Plus. I'm talking about Calorie Smart, vegan, vegetarian, keto. Whatever your diet is, Factor will meet you where you are and get you food where you are, because they deliver to you. If that wasn't clear. Factor's also a lot cheaper than delivery. I don't know about you, but every time I do order food, I end up seeing like surcharge for driver tip. And then later, like 5 hours later, they're like, did you want to tip your driver? And I'm like, I did tip my driver. Did you not give that to them? So I tip twice, I think. And I hope they both go to the driver, but I don't even know. With Factor, you don't have to sweat that. You're getting cheaper food that's better and higher quality and tastier. Seriously, these foods are incredibly tasty because they never get frozen, so they maintain all that delicious flavor. Head to factor75.com or click the link in the description and enter offer code HEIGhtFB50 at checkout for free breakfast for 1 year and 50% off your first Factor box. That's right, they even do breakfast and breakfast snack treats that are very, very good. So, factor75.com, offer code HEIGhtFB50 at checkout for 50% off your first box and 1 year of free breakfast. Now let's get back to not running. This run starts off a little bit better with the Apollo attack boon. I mean, I sure hope it does. We have a belt buckle from Apollo to make Apollo show up. Any other gods in the boon pool we want? No. Any other options from the gods that did show up so I don't have to burn all of my rerolls? Kind of. Demeter has 2 solid options. Plentiful Forage heals us every time we forage, and since I've done a few too many runs of this game at this point, we just forage automatically. Snow Queen would give us 1 free hit every room. It's 1 more free hit. I'll take what I can get. Hephaestus is also a solid extra option. Getting free armor at the start of the fight lets us Unga or Bunga as quickly as possible. The big armor at the start of encounters works kind of funny with that self-healing from Apollo also, since we do take damage when our armor gets hit, but we'll heal 30% of that damage of our HP rather than our armor, which took the damage. Against Polyphemus, we do have a slightly better option thanks to the absurd size of the Apollo attack on the Smashing Glove. It's not much better since those shockwaves are still heading in our direction, but with a little more practice, I think I could handle it. Counterpoint, why practice this? Why would you do this? You don't have to do this. But Polyphemus isn't the worst because that's Charybdis. Come on, Cheese, I need you to work for me. Oh, actually, let's set that up there. This is why it's bad when you can't dodge, because all of those just have to hit you. So we kind of handled that better than normally in the practice runs. The phase shift attack with Charybdis is already one of the most obnoxious things to dodge when you can sprint. Some people can cheese it by standing next to the door. That's never worked for me. Congratulations to you. But without being able to sprint, you're just boned. Except this time we had wind on the cast from Demeter, which slowed them down. So we only took like 150 damage instead of, 200. Back to Eris, I'm playing a little more carefully, and you really just have to respect her, which is a shame because our relationship is based off of mutual disrespect. Oh, I'm fucked. Did it just do 80 damage? Hey, at least we made it through that time. And now we can swap to get Aphrodite in the boon pool. Do we have self-healing or warm breeze yet? No, but, well, no but. That's just bad. Aphrodite gives us dummy thick cheeks right away. That's pretty huge. There's so many little things that get worse when you can't dodge. For example, the shield guys on Mount Olympus. The novelty of guy who has shield in front of them so you have to dash behind them to hit them is not unique to Hades 2. It was invented in Kingdom Hearts 1 with a large body enemy. Most great ideas in gaming can be traced to Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2. That's just a fact. When you can't dodge roll behind them, what do? Wait for Athena to show up and give you invincibility after you take damage? That has nothing to do with the thing I was talking about, but it does happen for us, and that's nice. Oh well. Hey, it's Prometheus, a boss that surely doesn't require any dodging at any phase. All right, now's when we say our prayers for luck, everybody. Top, middle, bottom. We can do that. Yay! He gave us things we could do. Say our prayers for luck. Middle, bottom, bottom, top, middle.
I'm in danger.
The dodge! The dodge chance did it, baby! Yeah, there's another reason we need death defies. If the dodge chance didn't do it, baby, we'd just fucking die there. But we didn't. So we can hit the summit and find a new problem. Oh! I'm gonna say I have to wait for them to come over here. Oh, that can hit. That can hit. The last hit of it can hit. So we can work it. After we're out of combat, I can hit the sprint button to get over. It's all within the rules that I'm making up. We're still missing, well, most of the shit we need, to be honest, and that's probably why we're out of death defies, but hey, is what a butt horse would eat. We'll head into Typhon and just kind of not have enough health to get it done, which is wild because we actually have a lot of health. It's just that Typhon's laser covers the entire arena and does 70 damage. And in phase 3, he sends it both ways. Sure, we have auto dodge and self-heal to heal off a little bit. There isn't like it might seem like I'm being stupid and not even trying to run out of the way, but like everything outruns you if you're not sprinting. So that's why we're doing it that way. The whirlwinds are faster than you. The projectiles are faster than you. I guess I could try and avoid the chin slam. You have to kind of know it's coming to have time to get out of the way for it. This was just not the run, which made sense because I couldn't run. Third run was also unlucky. When I said I tested this, I meant I had 10 failed runs and 1 successful one, and then said, okay, that means I can do it perfectly every time. No, Phil, no you can't. Since I'm the only person I'm aware of who has attempted the undash run, let me regale you with some other stuff I learned. Really, this all started with me wanting to test the aspect of Nurgle to see how much healing you could get out of going berserk. I thought maybe you could combine the Iron Core buff, which is exclusive to this aspect, and heals you for 2 instead of 1 when you go berserk, and the old herbal remedy from Circe, which makes your healing effects 25% stronger to get 3 healing while you go berserk, since that would be 2.5 and maybe round up to 3. It does not. It does boost the healing between rooms and the healing you get from dodging with Warm Breeze, so it's still a decent option, though I think boosting Golly's dodge chance up to 12% is better if you have Warm Breeze, since 6% more dodge is 6% more likely to get the 10 full healing instead of the 13 you would get from Herbal Remedy. Mathematically, that might seem wrong, and yeah, probably, but you also have to factor in getting hit 6% less of the time, even though it's not actually 6%, because 6% is the bonus of the total of 100 and doesn't factor in the other chances you've already had to dodge. What I am saying is that I like that one more, or just becoming big. Yeah, getting a stupid amount of HP, turns out that might be the best strategy. Poseidon can be a fine god to see in the same way that Hephaestus's armor is all right. It's really more that you so crucially need the specific combo of boons from Apollo, Hestia, and Aphrodite, and that any other god that isn't them is taking a very important slot to get those very important boons. Also, why? We don't have strength on. Rerolls are critical to shape the kind of build we're looking to rock. And for the full reroll setup, you really need to lock into that bottom corner corner of the Arcana table. I've seen a lot of disrespect for the Excellence card, which gives you a 60% chance to find boons that are legendary or rare, and hey, I get it, that's a 5 grasp, that's a lot, but I guess I'm a spoiled little baby, because when I turned it off for these runs, I got really mad. Where are my fun colors? Why are all the boons gray? Still, even with a whole Arcana board positioned for rerolls and grabbing all the talismans from specific gods to get what I wanted, I was just not getting the luck today. Good for everyone else who can do Fate's Whim and get exactly what they need. Boy, Tulok is built differently. Worse. I'm built worse. I also mentioned Demeter has a few boons that can splash in here or there or work fine. Snow Queen and Plentiful Forage are the best, but Arctic Gale is actually really good for stopping Charybdis from doing 500 damage. He still does 300, but 200 less is pretty great. Zeus is an okay pull if you have Aphrodite and specifically already have Wispy Wiles, since that's just extra dodge chance. Something I tried to farm was All Together from Hera to get Wispy on a backup or self-healing if that wasn't showing up. Then stuff like Bridal Glow can be solid because it's just kind of always good. And that's all the gods. Other than Ares. Okay, so some of Ares' boons might seem good for this, but they really aren't. Blood Spray heals you up to 40. The laser from Typhon does 70 damage. So, you know, that doesn't do anything for you. Even Mutual Destruction isn't great here. Like I mentioned earlier, if you get this build going the way you need it to, you should be at higher levels of HP. So Shameless Attitude ends up being a better investment than Mutual Destruction. You either get the build online and have most of your HP, or you don't, and you lose. Also, doesn't really help when Prometheus wants to play Campfire. Sometimes he just throws down AoEs and camps inside them, like a dick. RIP to Run 3. Run 4 is surely the ticket. Yeah, that one was bad, so we're just skipping it. Okay, there are 9 total gods. 4 of them will be in your boon pool. We're using a keepsake to force one of them into the boon pool every time. That means there are 8 gods left and 4 opportunities to roll a 1 in 8 chance, which actually increases to a 1 in 7 chance on the second roll, 1 in 6 on the third roll, 1 in 5 on the 5th roll, 4th roll, whatever. Yet, we have had such bad luck getting these gods natively in the boon pool until run 5. Aphrodite in the boon pool. Hestia in the boon pool. Oh shit, I have nothing I can complain about. If we don't do it, it's just because I suck. Well, bad news for you, buddy. I'm kidding. I'm the best at Dodgeless Hades too, because I haven't seen anyone else try it. We don't get the best luck for Hestia having to take Scorch on her special, since I didn't want to reroll 10 times and get Scorch on the cast. Oh, by the way, something I just thought about that I didn't really mention in the Hestia and Hephaestus tier lists is that they're 2 of the 3 gods that don't punish you for taking their curse multiple times. I actually say they're probably get a little bit better, since obviously more Scorch is better. Scorch on the special is just not ideal with the X because it's a slow one. The Omega with the Nurgle aspect actually does make it kind of okay at getting stuff off. It might work with Hot Pot later. Or we could just get that duo boon with Aphrodite so Scorch never depletes on weak enemies. That'd be fine. Against Polyphemus, I am stacking Scorch up as high as possible. I still have free armor. Getting grabbed isn't ideal, but we do have Light Smite. That's the best revenge boon in the game. So every one of Poly's hugs that are a little too hard end up hurting him almost as much as they hurt us. View chambers into the boats, we get Warm Breeze, then meet up with Cersei and get some major girth for a big old HP bar. Pairing that with 75 free armor from Hephaestus, we should be hanging out close to the top of the HP bar. Things go a little bit better against Eris as well. We set up all of the Scorch we can. We also have a surprise tool from Icarus, some armor that explodes when it breaks, which lets us just fully skip phase 3, then hit her a few more times to make it through without losing a Death Defy. Damn. Maybe I could have done this with strength. For Olympus, I'm putting Aphrodite's Charm on even though she is natively in the boon pool because I want a lot of stuff from Aphrodite. Starting out with Spiritual Affirmation. That stacks super well with the Super Size from Cersei, making our HP dummy thick. Dionysus lets us heal off 75% of the damage we would take in a chamber after the chamber is over, so we're looking pretty solid for staying healthy here. Only downside, Aphrodite is not showing us the Wispy. I'm grabbing all the wind boons I can from her for the moment, just in case we get to see her cunning wiles. Honestly, I think she just has to move her knee to the side a little bit. It should be right there. By the time we get to Prometheus, we are cheeked up with armor and looking at 381 total HP. Bad luck on the Simon minigame. Bottom, or top, bottom. And we're taking a hit. Unless we dodge it. The second one also goes bad and destroys the last of our armor. But in phase 3, we can really see the build coming together, with our HP constantly going up almost as quickly as it goes down. We run into a slight problem on the summit. Oh, fuck. You gotta come over here, buddy. It's okay, we've got Light Smite, so we can just get shot. Tail of Typhon is interesting. Similar to Polyphemus, there's a lot of shockwaves that you just have to dodge, but our innate dodge chance is so high at this point, we actually end up healing more than we get hurt. Final shop, no Wispy. Hopefully we're still able to handle Typhon. We've got a lot of health. We have 3 death defies, a few free hits. It should be all right. Occasionally, we'll take a hit on the face, but with self-healing, Warm Breeze, and the aspect of normal, all that missing health comes back fairly fast. In the last phase, he's definitely doing damage faster than we're healing it, but we still finish it all above half health. Actually, probably could have done this with strength instead of death defies if we got this luck. Pretty crazy. Hey, it only took 60% dodge chance and 5 attempts. Can't complain about that. Unfortunately, now sprinting is the only thing we can do. Turning 1 button off the controller was this brutal. Imagine how hard it will be when we turn 3 buttons off.
Why are you doing this?
I just felt like running.
Yeah, all of the RNG of the runless runs, forget that. We need 1 boon to show up, it's Nexus Rush. For some ungodly reason, this does so much damage on the first hit, then inflicts hitch, then it hits something else and does damage to the hitched up target, and all of the other enemies hit with hitch. So it basically lets you clear rooms by only holding down sprint. That's all you have to do, and you just win. To be fair, we are running Aspect of Supe, which does increase the damage of our sprint boon, and we are running Strength, since I think it's better to make sure that everything dies quickly so that we don't have to kill stuff with the extra soupy balls. Yeah, we got soupy balls, but to be totally honest, I don't think they add much to our damage. I will say, I was too cruel to Supe though. Doesn't belong in F tier, maybe a C tier, because I've also tried this with Zeus's Lightning Dash, and that works pretty great too. So yeah, that's just kind of it. We're just gonna kind of win. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of win. I guess it's definitely worth mentioning bosses are harder than crowds, a lot harder. Well, not a lot harder, they're a lot slower, and I'm impatient. Against Polyphemus, I'm actually just relieved when zombies show up. Fun fact, I think this whole run gets easier at slightly higher heat, since if you turn up the number of enemies you encounter, that's more things for your hitch to bounce off of. This is another one that I've done at home, so if you want to do this at home, actually do this one at home. This one's pretty fun. But there's a Hermes boon that makes you invincible while dashing for your first few hits. For the first few hits that you would take while you were dashing, that one's pretty great. Everything else kind of doesn't matter. Just grab whatever shows up. Honestly, if you just want to cheese the game and check to see if you've got Zeus or Hera as your first god, you could do this with Fate's Whim and be totally fine. It wouldn't matter. Some other stuff makes it a little better. Getting a status effect on your balls helps activate Origination for more damage. Getting some Blitz helps you do more damage more consistently. Basically, anything to upgrade your passive attacks from Soupy is good. Glamour Gain is the best mana recovery option, since you can't really spend your mana, or Grizzly Gain, since you don't need magic, so it doesn't really matter that it sucks shit at getting you your magic back, which is what it's supposed to do. By the time we get to Olympus, our HP bar is only at like 125, but that's totally fine. I don't need to do anything but dodge, so anytime I do get hit, that's a silly goose move. What was I doing? Being greedy and trying to attack? I don't think so. This is where the enemy health bars start to get long enough that they don't actually die super fast, though. Really, things only get bad when I make a bad decision. Okay. This is risky and stupid, and I think we're gonna die. We're gonna die. I just killed myself. Yeah, Talos is a solo fight. He doesn't have any buddies. It lasts a long time, and fighting Talos for a long time means you get hit by his very reasonable hitboxes. Oh yeah, this guy's hitboxes, they're so reasonable. What a reasonable guy. We didn't die, but we did lose a lot of health. Oh well, at least we have Wispy Wiles from Aphrodite and a free minion from Hera and Aphrodite. With some luck in the shop, we're able to heal back to almost full by the time we get to Prometheus, and hey, we can actually avoid the goddamn Simon attack instead of just praying for mercy. Like all bosses, he goes a little slower, but Blitz on our attack and air quality speed things up quite a bit. On the summit, Poseidon hooks us up with water fitness, so we can start fitness bigger HP bar on our screen. The size doesn't change, the number's bigger though. I like that. It's just nice to be able to cross gaps again with the dash, to be honest. Eye of Typhon is kind of ideal. There's a lot of little dudes we can hitch up and do a bunch of damage to. We end up with Slow Cooker, which makes our tiny little constant hits do some amazing damage. When we're fighting Typhon, it outpaces air quality. So yeah, that's pretty high quality. Typhon ends up being pretty easy, barely an inconvenience. The fact that we have Wispy on this run and didn't have it on the run we actually needed it for doesn't hurt. Like literally we dodge attacks, so it doesn't hurt at all. When Typhon offers us eggs, we actually just let them cook, because then we can get our hitch damage out on the enemies that spawn out of it. It's still not super fast, but it's all right. We're able to get it done with plenty of health to spare. So to answer the question, is dodging the best button in the game? Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We're going to be doing some more silly fun runs of Hades. We're maybe going to be trying to do some other games too. Maybe another game where you don't actually have to attack and you just have to dash around. If I can figure out how to turn Mega Bonk into content. I hope I can. Bye-bye.